We are live.
Hey, I am Old New Dude, and he is.
Richard York, Asher's trueborn son. And this is the dance epilogue.
All right, all fair use laws under effect. Spoilers ahead. If you haven't read the chapter, you're in the wrong place.
Yep. So my summary is Kevin meets with the small council, dines with Cersei and Tommen, and is summoned to join Pycelle, and Dorcas Varys kills them.
Bingo. That's a really good summary.
All right, I think that's a pretty good summary. Send me against my uncle, and I'll bring you back his head, and the head of this false dragon, too. So, yeah, it starts off with Red Roddington. Red Ronnet Connington, whatever, however you say that. And 2 in a row. Yeah, exactly. 2 in a row. Very nice. Happy Friday, everyone. I like the line, though neither Queen Cersei nor Queen Marjorie was amongst them, their presence could be felt poisoning the air like ghosts at a feast. I don't know if it means that much, but it's an interesting statement. Good evening, everyone, says Kirsty.
Goes to the feast, automatically just
my
mind goes to the Red Wedding.
Yeah, and it does make you also think about possible foreshadowing that neither one of them are surviving this series.
Yeah, that's true.
Happy Friday, Mother Roy.
Trish, so Kirsty, and Mother. Hey, Mother.
Yeah. The new king's hand was seated on an oaken throne carved in the shape of a hand. An absurd vanity his lordship had produced the day Sir Kevon agreed to grant him the office he coveted. Well, so the implication seems to be that he prepared that in advance, having previously presumed that he would be named hand. Hey,
there you go.
Hope you two are doing well. We are, thank you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Hey, Ranger.
But I think it also shows that he's like Hizdar trying to project power rather than Dany's modest confidence.
Yeah, that's true.
Dany and Jon are more confident in their power. Whether Jon should have been is another question.
Without doubt.
His uncle once stood just where the boy was standing now and told King Aerys how he would deliver him the head of Robert Baratheon. That is how it is when a man grows as old as Pycelle. Everything you see or hear reminds you of something you saw or heard when you were young. Anyway, George does like his parallels, so maybe you should listen to Pycelle. In fact, listen to Pycelle is pretty much
or repeating.
Yeah, history rhymes and so forth.
Yeah, I had a question on that. The history rhymes part, especially that rhymes are really clustered together, like in our story. Is it rhyming, or is it those that move the pieces on the board making basically the same kind of moves with only slight variations to get different results for the game? Does that make sense?
Okay, or the ripples of them planting things within a bloodline or something, like maybe when you alter someone, it actually alters their entire house slightly or something based on the genetics going back in time or something. Anyway,
it was just a thought that
yeah, no, maybe maybe it's something like, well, we've talked about this idea that people's motivations are being changed, right? That's Brantham leaping. It's like quantum leap. So George's history of time travel is mostly seems to be with this idea that you can't go further back than yourself because of the grandfather paradox, and that you can't really travel so much as change people's work within free will, where people are kind of left or right, who knows, kind of thing, right?
Well, I mean, I know people have a problem with that because they don't like the idea of free will not existing in the story. And I
have a broken mic.
Who, me?
Me.
Oh.
I said my mic isn't coming in.
All right. It's got a little pop to it here and there.
Huh. Okay.
You want to try talking and see if it fixes itself?
Hello, hello, hello,
I
hello.
can hear.
Chris, what do you think? How's my microphone? Because usually it's much better when I use this headset than any other time, which is why I use it.
I hear you. Like I said, there's just a little pop here and there. But as far as the game being played, it has gone back all the way to Danes the Dreamer till present. We see it in Fire and Blood.
It is choppy.
Huh.
I can turn it off. I can try it with the phone.
Okay.
I'm not sure how well it's going to work. Whether I'm going to be able to hear you.
Can you hear me?
My volume's all the way up. I can barely hear you.
Uh-oh.
Mother Roy said I was sounding fine. All right, let me go out and come back in without the.
Okay. But what was I saying on the repeating in the games? It's not that free will is taken.
All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, we'll go with it this way, although that's probably going to result in fan noise because people always complain that when I use the phone that there's fan noise or something.
All right. I'm not saying that free will is taken completely. I'm saying that it is the carrot stick kind of moving the pieces, finding out what somebody wants.
You give them a little nudge, but it seems to go forward and backward in time.
What's that?
You give them a little motivational nudge, and it seems to go forward and backward in time.
Yeah, it's still yeah, like dropping a pebble in the water. It has ripples in all directions, so it might have an effect on everything around that one point, going forward and backwards.
Yeah, but we're not saying it's just the butterfly effect going forwards. We're saying that the motivational, saying for example that somebody was kind of borderline whether they were going to work on, going to be upset with a lack of protecting the children, and you needed them to really be upset with protecting over that. You know, you might give them that motivation, and that motivation might go all the way forward and backward in their life. So then the question becomes, well, could it even go somewhat into the genetics of the individual when you do that? Just a thought.
Yeah, that's questionable.
Yeah, I don't really. That's just an idea.
Not questionable as in it's probably not right. It's just questionable in my head is that I would have to sit there and look at a case by case study to see. Yeah, that tends to work.
Kirsty, that's kind of what Keith has always wondered, and like that this theory that maybe a shark.
But I mean, so the ages in the books, I tend not to dwell on too much, just for the fact is that George could hide something in plain sight.
But you just said the opposite of what theory swords away, right? And so this is sometimes pointed at as some of the evidence that maybe Randall Tarley, who's always dismissing that John Cunnington is not a risk and no big deal, right? And that's not even Cunnington. Don't even worry about it. Don't, if you're like, well, he's trying to get them to get rid of their swords. He's dismissing John Cunnington. Is he in fact one of the friends in the Reach potentially?
Yeah, I kind of like that theory. I mean, that he is the friend of the Reach. He's tired of Terrell's crap.
Him taking credit for his work. Yeah. I will not suffer such men in the city watch. 100 of his own Highgarden men had been added to the gold cloaks, yet plainly his lordship meant to resist any balancing infusion of Westermen. The more he gives him, the more he wants. Kevin Lannister was beginning to understand why Cersei had grown so resentful of the Tyrells. Anyway, my internet is looping out as well, okay?
I'm sorry, Christy.
So anyway, he does say we may have need of a very sword against these sellswords. If this truly is the Golden Company, as Kyber whisperers insist. Anyway. The map was beautiful. Maybe it's old new dude's internet, not ours. Oh, because it's getting successfully to you, and then you're the one that's posting it to YouTube.
Maybe let me back out and come back in.
I don't know. It was just a thought that people are wondering. Do you think it's worth doing?
No, yeah, let me back out. See what happens.
Honestly, it's probably going server to server from StreamYard to YouTube. So there may be it may not be anything we can do about this. See if I can swap us back faster than old new dude can. My TV and mobile, so I turned my Wi-Fi off on mobile. Kept happening. I was buffering. It could just be YouTube having issues. That's possible.
But anyway, you did sound better when you had headphones on.
I always do.
I know.
That was the point. Anyway, but if people seem to think it got better when I took them off, so it's doing it again now. Guys, yeah. Anyway, I think
we're having these big problems, we want to just
lost you guys.
Yeah, we just want to back out for the day and try to get Monday, see if the things improve with StreamYard or YouTube, or try to do some research on it. Because I don't want to sit there and people not be able to hear us and watch us.
We'll try again on Monday. All right. Take 2 on Monday, guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully things will be better. I don't think it's. I really don't think it's you or me. I think it's actually StreamYard or YouTube or something. So, or StreamYard's kind of good for YouTube. So,
all right.
Anyway,
yeah, we're going to back out and hopefully things will be fixed by Monday. So, take
2 on Monday, hopefully.
Yeah, take 2 on Monday. We'll try this again. Thanks again for joining us for this 16
Happy
minutes.
Friday.
We apologize. All right, it seems to be okay now. Richard, you want to talk?
Really? Somebody said that? Oh, there's so much going on here.
Yeah, I'm losing you on my side.
What's your fingers? No. I heard you the whole time.
I'm losing you.
Well, I was trying to scroll through all these things because so much stuff was happening.
Okay.
Are you sure you really lost me? Because I really wasn't saying anything.
Well, you did say something. We'll go.
We'll try. All right, we'll try and continue. All right. The map was beautiful, painted by a master's hand on a sheet of the finest vellum, so large it covered the table, which definitely sounds like a Dragon's Den reference there.
Yeah.
Now, this one I don't get. Well, maybe I do. Okay. Where the sleeve of his robe rode up, a flap of pale flesh could be seen dangling beneath his forearm. So my first thought was, why include this detail about a character who's going to die? But then maybe that's the answer, is that it's foreshadowing his poor health and death approaching.
Yeah.
That's about all I got for it. Because I just thought it stuck out as weird.
Well, maybe just let everybody know exactly how old and frail this man is and what he's put himself through to try to help the crown or House Lannister before he's taken out of the story altogether.
Yeah. Part the Stepstones, even Estermont. And now we have reports that Cunnington is moving on Storm's End. If it is John Cunnington, said Randall Tarley. Storm's End? Lord Mace Tyrell grunted the words. He cannot take Storm's End, not if he were Aegon the Conqueror. And if he does, what of it? Stannis holds it now. Let the castle pass from one pretender to another. Why should that trouble us? I shall recapture it after my daughter's innocence is proved. How can you recapture it when you have never captured it to begin with?
Yeah.
His High Holiness insists upon a trial. Lord Randall snorted. What have we become when kings and high lords must dance to the twittering of sparrows? If we're seen to be going against the gods, it will only drive the pious in the arms of one or the other of these would-be usurpers. Once Paxter Redwine sweeps the Iron Men from the seas, my sons will retake the shields. The snows will do for Stannis or Bolton will. As for Cunnington, if it is him, Lord Randall said. As for Cunnington, what victories has he ever won that we should fear him? He could have ended Robert's rebellion at Stony Sept. He failed, just as the Golden Company has always failed. Some may rush to join them. The realm is well rid of such fools. So anyway, he's still doing it.
Yeah. Comically so, to the point where you have to scratch your head and go, why?
Yeah. He had known John Cunnington slightly, a proud youth, the most headstrong of the gaggle of young lordings who had gathered around Prince Rhaegar Targaryen, competing for his royal favor. Arrogant, but able and energetic. That and his skill at arms is why Mad King Aerys had named him Hand. Old Lord Merryweather's inaction had allowed the rebellion to take root and spread, and Aerys wanted someone young and vigorous to match Robert's own youth and vigor. Too soon, Lord Tywin Lannister declared in word of the king's choice to reach Castle Rock. Cunnington is too young, too bold, too eager for glory. And so, we mentioned before, actually, John Cunnington is supposed to be considered basically a match of Robert in terms of his prowess, in terms of his fighting and so forth. And he's kept himself.
Loves this character.
And they do. And he's kept himself in much better shape than Robert did. That's for sure.
By far, yes.
Sir Kevin expected that afterward, Aerys would have no choice but to summon Tywin once more. But the Mad King, anyway. That was all so long ago, though. If this is indeed John Cunnington, he'll be a different man. Older, harder, more seasoned, more dangerous. Cunnington may have more than the Golden Company. Instead, he has a Targaryen pretender. A feigned boy is what he has, said Randall Tarley. Dismissing them.
Oh yeah. Well, there's two. The theory is there's two reasons why Varys kills Pycelle. One, he does give sage counsel, and two, he delivered Rhaegar. He delivered Aegon. So if there's any identifying physical features that the boy had, Pycelle would have noted it and would be the one to give the thumbs up or thumbs down on Aegon, whether or not he's the legitimate son of Rhaegar.
Okay. That may be, or not. Kevin Lannister had been here in this very hall when Tywin had laid the bodies of Prince Rhaegar's children at the foot of the Iron Throne, wrapped up in crimson cloaks. The girl had been recognizably the Princess Rhaenys, but the boy, faceless horror, bone and brain and gore, a few hanks of fair hair, none of this looked young. Long. Tywin said that it was Prince Aegon, and we took him at his word. We have these tales coming from the east as well. A second Targaryen, and one whose blood no man can question. Oh, really? Have you not watched our videos?
We've questioned it this whole time.
Daenerys Stormborn. So again, she's called Stormborn, but the only time that we've seen somebody reminded that she's Stormborn is by reminding them that she was born at the storming of Dragonstone, not by reminding them that she was born during a storm.
Right.
As mad as her father.
That is the last possible time that she could be born on Dragonstone, whether she was born there or not. If they think she they got whisked away the day they're storming, that's the last possible day for her to be born on Dragonstone.
Right.
So if it's 8.5 months after the siege of, or the taking of King's Landing and the killing of King Aerys, that's still the last possible day that she can be born on Dragonstone, is the day that the Baratheon forces take it. So she can't be born on it afterwards. So it has to be then. So they think that she's born while they're storming the gate. Well,
and then there's the question of prophecy of would the prophet really know if someone's, which is similar to our question about George and his comments on Danny and John's birthdays, is he referring to their official birthdays or their actual birthdays if the two differ? And then would a person who's a prophet think that you were married, you were descended from the union of Ares and Raella if you were descended from the marriage of Ares and Raella, but Sir Bonifer Hasty was the actual father, right? So the question is, what would a prophet really know? Would they know what was known about someone's birth, or would they know what was actually about someone's birth? And so could prophecy see Dany as someone who was born at Dragonstone, even if she wasn't actually born at Dragonstone?
Right.
Anyway, just a thought.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Are they actually having prophetic dreams, or are they viewing future events? And this is in-world knowledge and history, so that's what they're going off of when they're seeing future events. Just like we were talking about, well, in the books and the back, when it says that Joffrey, Tommen, and Myrcella are King Robert's true-born children, but they're not. And then Jon Snow's listed as Ned's bastard. We have questions on that. So I mean, George has kind of set himself up a bit of plot armor around himself on what information he can give, on information he can't give, and then with the information he does give, is he viewing it through the histories that people generally in the world understand, which saves him from giving away the game, you know what I mean? Or is it actually, this is what I intended for the characters to be?
Bonifer's from the House Hasty is in the Stormlands. I just looked it up because I didn't know.
Okay.
Bonifer Hasty would be from the Stormlands. He's a landed knight, far too low of birth for a Targaryen princess. So anyway, yeah, in terms of that's the Sir Bonifer Hasty and the Holy Hundred, or who we're talking about, Kirsty, in terms of the guy that Raella liked.
And liked her for sure.
Oh yeah. In fact, he wore her favor in Stormlands. He goes Stormborn. Yeah, I thought about that too. That it could be a reference to them being from the Stormlands. Is interesting then, in terms of them being Stormborn.
Which I took it as if Viserys knows that she's bastard born, and he gives her the name Stormborn. It's a bastard dig in plain sight against someone that he knows is not at his level of royalty, and might be why he gets so mad when she questions him, because how dare this bastard born girl question the royal prince, the rightful king. So that was my take on it, that this was his name that he gave her as a dig in plain sight.
Well, and if let's say he knows the whole history, well, if I can declare that a second marriage at a heart tree is invalid, whether or not a second marriage for a Targaryen is invalid, that a heart tree marriage is invalid from our point of view for our religion, then I want it to be clear that I consider her to be bastard born, and if she came from the Stormlands to get to him, then I want to consider her Stormborn, so that I consider her to not be ahead of me in the line of succession, because if she were the true-born daughter of Rhaegar, she would arguably be ahead of him in the line of succession.
Right. And on the Stormlands, we're suggesting that Davos had something to do with the moving back and forth of children, or a Davos type, because of the black sails and all that.
Right. And then you also have this idea that he could actually be agreeing with Ares that Rhaegar should be disinherited, and therefore Daenerys should be disinherited, because Rhaegar is Stormborn.
Rhaegar would be Storm, when a recognized bastard would have the name Storm, the next generation would add a word to it,
would be
like
Stormborn.
Bywaters or
So he may be referring to Rhaegar as a bastard by naming her Stormborn.
And Dany being the second generation, which would typically add a word to the bastard word Storm. So Stormborn would fit as a second generation of the bastard line.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, it is kind of sweet.
As mad as her father, well, and George being that deep in his hints that Rhaegar is actually Stormborn and that Dany is from Rhaegar make a lot of sense. As mad as her father, mad she may be.
That gets back to the prophecy about being born of this bloodline. Is it what's true or what is acknowledged in the history of the world that a person looked forward in time?
Yeah, according to the appendix, all of the children of Robert, or all of the children of Cersei, are trueborn children of Robert, his trueborn son, his trueborn daughter, his trueborn son, and
Gendry is it's the other way around.
And Jon is the bastard of Ned, and the three-eyed crow is Brendan, right? The appendix tells us these things; they must be true.
Nope. Oh, and for those that don't know, I think Gendry is trueborn. Cersei and Robert's only trueborn son.
With so much smoke drifting west, surely there must be some fire burning in the east. Dragons, these same stories have reached Old Town, too many to discount. A silver-haired queen with 3 dragons. The girl is of the blood of Aegon the Conqueror, and I do not think she'll be content to remain a Marine forever. If she should reach these shores and join her strength to Lord Cunnington and this prince of his, feigned or no, we must destroy Cunnington and his pretender now before Daenerys Stormborn can come west. Unless a new source of coin can be found, or the Iron Bank persuaded to relent, he would have no choice but to pay the crown's debts with Lannister gold. Half the lords in the realm could not tell taxation from tyranny. You may well need to go to Bravos to treat with the Iron Bank yourself. And we've mentioned that we really should have saved Mercy because it's not really isolated to one storyline.
Yeah.
Let all go back to the Hammer of the Waters. Interesting. Interesting. Waters being interesting. Bastard from the Crownlands, right?
Yeah. Crownlands.
Not all of us have had the opportunity to refill our coffers with the plunder of Maidenpool and Dragonstone. No wealth was found on Dragonstone, I promise you. My son's men have searched every inch of that damp and dreary island, and turned up not so much as a single gemstone or speck of gold, nor any sign of this fabled hoard of dragon eggs.
Did you say my sons?
My son apostrophe S. Not my son's S apostrophe. He did talk about his sons earlier, implying that Willis and Garland would take back the shields.
Okay.
But this time it's Loras that he's talking about. He doubted very much that Loras Tyrell had searched every inch of that ancient stronghold, and he goes on to talk about how he was young, plus he was too injured. So how the heck is he searching all this stuff? If there was wealth on Dragonstone, Stannis would have found it. My niece has elected trial by battle, she informs me. Sir Robert Strong will champion her. A silent giant. Why have we never heard his name before? He does not speak. He will not show his face. He's never seen without his armor. Do we know for a certainty that he is even a knight? So we've talked about this knowing for a certainty thing before, and how it seems to be related to fake deaths like the Onion Knight.
Well, I mean, in this world, you're either to produce witnesses and have witnesses to your knighting, or prove your knighthood with the edge of your sword, as in battle.
Well, and there's the argument that if he was named by the king, well, the king could knight him, right? And that's the theory that knights start by being named by the king himself. That you have to have a first knight at some point, right?
Yeah.
If Which came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is the king, is in this case, came before the first night.
Right.
We do not even know if he's alive. Mary and Trent claimed that Strong took neither food nor drink, and Boris Blunt went so far as to say he had never seen the man use the privy. Why should he? Dead men do not shit. Except that's not really true. They do right when they die, but anyway.
Yeah.
We need Sir Robert to prevail, my lords. If my niece is proved guilty of these treasons, the legitimacy of her children will be called into question. If Tommen ceases to be a king, Marjorie will cease to be a queen.
So true.
In place of her former ladies in waiting, she will henceforth be attended by a septa and 3 novices selected by the High Septon. She shall have no further voice in the governance of the realm nor in Tommen's education. I mean to return her to Castle Rock after the trial and see that she remains there. Let that suffice. Better to live shamed than die proud, Sir Kevan told himself. My niece will make no further mischief, he promised Mace Tyrell. You have my word on that, my lord. The word of a dead man, that's not much good.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's been pointed out that the faith needs Cersei's accusations to be shot down. That her
Similarly,
innocence needs to be proven, because if the
primary rebels are the Greyjoys, who worship the Drowned God, Stannis, who worships the Red God, and the North, who worship the trees, right? The old gods.
Yeah. But the faith got their permission to arm themselves again through Tommen, and if if infidelities could be proven against him,
then the order of an illegitimate king doesn't help them. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's not me. I watched that on somebody else's video. I want to say Quinn's GM, but I'm assuming other people have pointed to that as well.
My Marjorie prefers to be tried by the face, so the whole realm can bear witness to her innocence. If your daughter is as innocent as you'd have us believe, why must you have your army present when she faces her accusers? We should address the Rosby inheritance. 6 claims have been put forth. We can settle Rosby at some later date. What else? He doesn't want us thinking about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Mayhaps we can persuade our Dornish friends to deal with Lord Cunnington, Sir Harris Swift said with an irritating titter. That would save a deal of blood and trouble. He used the word deal twice there, which could be George having fun with the Dornish dealing with Lord Cunnington.
Wait, what?
He doesn't do that very often. So.
Oh, okay. So I see it in one sentence, and then the next sentence.
Deal with Lord Cunnington. That would save a deal of blood and trouble. And instead, they're going to deal with Lord Cunnington to cause a lot of blood and trouble.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Tarly is the real danger, Sir Kevan reflected as he watched their departure. How do I win him to our side? Yeah, that's an interesting problem there. Tarly is the real danger.
The best way to get Tarly on your side is to put him above Mace Tyrell.
Yeah. Lord Tyrell loves me not. This matter of the moon tea, I would never have spoken of such, but the Queen Dowager commanded me. If it please the Lord Regent, I would sleep more soundly if you could lend me some of your guards. Sir Harris Swift tugged at his chin beard. I'm in need of guards myself. These are perilous times. I thought Kevin Lannister. And he thinks specifically that yeah, they really do want to remove these 2 specifically from the council.
Right.
The council would stand at 3 and 3, Lannister and Tyrell. The 7th voice would be the Dornish woman now escorting Myrcella home, the Lady Nym. Sir Kevin had not yet seen fit to inform Mace Tyrell of her coming. The Hand, he knew, would not be pleased. That's really interesting, isn't it? He's going to be dead. He's never even informed.
That's going to make for some fun conversation when they get to the gates.
Yeah.
Did they have Mace Tyrell's leave to cross his lands? Just like
I think they talked about it, and they specifically decided to have him go through the Stormlands and the Dornish marches there.
Okay.
The man we need is Littlefinger. Peter Baelish had a gift for conjuring dragons from the air. Interesting choice of words there.
Mm-hmm.
Hire the mountain's men. He did not think that Mace Tyrell would be so clumsy as to try to murder either Pycelle or Swift, but if guards made them feel safer, let them have guards. So he actually does say yes. Anyway.
Yeah, but needing the guards and using the mountain's men puts one of the mountain's men in reach of Arya. So could that be a little bit of
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's how he winds up there. You're right. This is exactly how that happens. You're right. Absolutely. The others lingered for a moment.
Granted, in the grander game of Thrones being played, what does one death in Bravos do for the game? The simple answer is it could mess up the money deals with the Iron Bank and King's Landing.
Or it helps.
And it could put Arya back on the game board in
Absolutely.
Westeros, where they need her to make moves.
Right, right. The others lingered for a moment on the throne room steps. That's the others is referring to Kevon and his good father. This is kind of strange. That's unusual because usually the others refers to people who have basically owe their allegiance to someone else who, well, I guess Kevon is arguably trying to serve Tommen, I suppose. But anyway, it's not usually they're like they seem to refer to warriors who've given up their own motivation to serve someone else, which makes you wonder about the others potentially being motivated by serving some sort of great other.
Yeah.
I put no faith in these Mirish bankers, Sir Kevon told his good father. You had best prepare to go to Bravos. Now, he gives us a lot of detail about, which he's done already in Clash, but he gives us a lot of detail here about the defense of Maegor's Holdfast. The dry moat surrounding Maegor's Holdfast was 3 feet deep in snow, which is, I guess if you're a moat, you're going to collect snow more than the drifts. But at the beginning of the chapter, he has the drifts be ankle deep, which is not much snow, right? Ankle deep drifts. Drifts are usually like way deeper than the regular snow.
Right.
So maybe
this is the South, though. They're not used to snow, so maybe their description of it wouldn't be what the Northerners would describe snow as far as.
But this is 3 feet deep, is my point, right? That's not ankle deep drifts. Ankle deep drifts is like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm like, but maybe because the moat is collected all this with the blowing snow or something, even more than drifts have. I don't know. It's weird.
Or was there any water at the bottom of it that froze it? The snow could be on top of?
It says dry moat. It says it was a dry moat.
Okay.
It says right there at the beginning. So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's a little weird. The only way in or out of Maegor's was across the drawbridge that spanned the moat. That moat. A knight of the King's Guard was always posted at its far end. Tonight the duty had fallen to Sir Meryn Trant. With Balon Swan hunting the rogue knight Darkstar down in Dorne, Loras Tyrell gravely wounded on Dragonstone, and Jaime vanished in the Riverlands, only 4 of the White Swords remained in King's Landing, and Sir Kevin had thrown Osmond Kettleblack and his brother Osford into the dungeon within hours of Cersei confessing that she had taken both men as lovers. And the one that we know that she actually has taken as a lover is Osney. So the fact that she forgets this in this chapter might indicate that she was lying when she said it was all 3. Anyway. So Osney is the one that murdered the High Septon and has been tortured. Osford was in charge of the Lannister guards. But of course, Kevin doesn't want him to be in charge of the Lannister guards, especially if he's guilty of fortificating with a queen, as he says in this chapter. And then Osmond is the one on the Kingsguard. That left only Trant, the feeble Boris Blunt, and Qyburn's mute monster Robert Strong to protect the young king and royal family.
How would he guard the gate, or how would he guard the drawbridge with not being able to speak?
He's not. That's Trant.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that tonight it is Trant that has the watch. but there's
Yeah,
only
it's really only three there, and so it would have to be trans, right? Boris Blunt is a useless food taster, as we see in this chapter. And you're saying, how could it possibly be Robert Strong? So it has to be Trent all the time, basically, which doesn't make much sense.
So that weakens the defenses of, because you have one that doesn't speak, is not going to stand it. We got one that's with Tommen all the time, and you got one that's going to be at this drawbridge all the time. He's going to be out of his mind.
That doesn't work. He can't be 24/7. Yeah, it's interesting. I will need to find some new swords for the King's Guard. Tommen should have 7 good knights about him. I could put Lancel in a white cloak. These two do not compute. A cup of mulled wine would go down well. The wine warmed his insides nicely. It also made him sleepy, so he dare not drink another cup. And yet, he's going to ask for just a cup of wine, and they're going to completely fill it here in a second. These have been subdued and submissive since her walk of atonement, thank the gods. Novices who attended her reported that she spent a third of her waking hours with her son, another third in prayer, and the rest in her tub. She's bathing 4 or 5 times a day, scrubbing herself with horsehair brushes and strong lye soap, as if she meant to scrape her skin off. She will never wash away the stain, no matter how hard she scrubs. Lady Macbeth approved this approach. Anyway, if Ares outdam spot, something like that. Anyway, if Ares had agreed to marry her to Rhaegar, how many deaths might have been avoided? Cersei could have given the prince the sons he wanted, lions with purple eyes and silver manes, and with such a wife, Rhaegar might never have looked twice at Lyanna Stark. The northern girl had a wild beauty, as he recalled, though however bright a torch might burn, it could never match the rising sun.
Yep.
The house and the rising sun. Anyway, I have no reason to feel guilty, Sir Kevan told himself. Tywin would understand that, surely. It's his daughter about shaved out on our name, not I. What I did for the good of House Lannister. It was not as if his brother had never done the same. So the implication there is that it's later on he's going to say that he had to because of the faith, but the implication there is that I mean, he's at a minimum he's agreed to it. Whether he came up with it or not is another question.
Right.
Surely Tywin never dreamed the same fate awaited his own golden daughter. It had to be, Sir Kevan muttered over the last of his wine. His high holiness had to be appeased. Tommen needed the faith behind him in the battles to come. And Cersei, the golden child, had grown into a vain, foolish, greedy woman. Left to rule, she would have ruined Tommen as she had Joffrey. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it's like I said, it sort of implies here that he had to, but it's also interesting that he implies that he did the same thing. Right, so it implies that he had to at least agree to it, if not even come up with it. He may have even suggested it. It's very ambiguous.
Yeah. Now, when I'm not giving Joffrey a pass at all. I mean, he started out a shit and just got worse. But George said that Baelish did have a sort of influence on Joffrey. I think that the embers and flame were stoked a little bit more when it came to Joffrey because of Littlefinger.
It does seem like Littlefinger has taken steps that have ruined them, right? So they claim it was Cersei's fault, but really it was Littlefinger's fault that they had so much debt.
Yep, without a doubt. Well, somebody did the math, and just in what they owe the Iron Bank and House Lannister, 6 million 6 million gold dragons, or however it worked out. It's 3 each. They could have a tourney the size of the Hand of the King once a month for 15 years and cover that amount of money. That doesn't count what was in the coffers already when they got there, which were loaded. And that doesn't count for the money that comes in from the taxes from the other 7 kingdoms. So there's a shit ton of gold missing. A shit ton.
Time to face the lioness in her den. We've pulled her claws. Jaime, though, but no, he would not brood on that. It's interesting. He seems. What does that imply? That he's worried that Jaime is coming for them or something? Like, it's really interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's really strange. She's no longer a threat. Jaime is, but he would not brood on that. That's isn't that weird? Anyway.
What if he, like us, knows, because we're realizing once we get inside Jamie's head that he's a lot smarter than he says he is.
Well, and he's
a lot
thinking
better at playing the game. And
publicly declaring he's a threat because he could publicly declare that he's the father. Does he know?
Yeah.
Maybe Kevin knows him well enough to realize that he's not happy with this being not known. That he does want it to be open. I don't know. This is just a thought. This is one of the few thoughts I can come up with. It's how he threatens their rule.
I think that's Targaryen in him, that he wants it out in the open. That hey,
oh, absolutely. Speaking of which, only the Knights of the Kingsguard are permitted swords in Tommen's presence. How mad king of him! See Triple Dragons episode 5. He did not look well. Of late, Boris had grown notably heavier about the face and belly, and his color was not good. It was leaning against the wall behind him as if standing had become too great an effort for him. It's almost as if he's becoming accustomed to poison so that you could sneak poison past him. Did Crown ever retrieve the gold that was stolen from the treasury by Hightower, Lannister, etc.? I don't know. I don't remember in Fire and Blood how that worked.
I don't know.
I think they do get it back because some people view Aegon as having won when Rhaenyra dies, but I don't know. Of course, that doesn't last very long. That all of Rhaenyra, it's Rhaenyra's children that wind up ruling. So the meal was served by 3 novices, well-scrubbed girls of good birth between the ages of 12 and 16.
Boris Blunt only has to take a spoonful of everything Tommen eats. It's not like Tommen nonstop eat all day long.
Right.
So it's just a taste of
That's what I'm saying. Is you don't have to get him. You don't even have to get him that accustomed to it before you could. It's as it is now. If Tommen were being poisoned, Tommen would be worse off than Boris. So you'd have to be deliberately poisoning Boris in order to get him accustomed to enough food that you could then make it strong enough that it wouldn't be noticed, the dosage that he gets in a small amount, but it would be fatal to Tommen, right?
Right. How far away are Marcella and them at this point? Do we know?
They're on their way, apparently.
That's a long game if somebody's already in King's Landing and getting Boris.
Well, and this is the line that implies the Dornish are already here, right? These two sentences or whatever.
Okay.
The meal was served by 3 novices, well-scrubbed girls of good birth between the ages of 12 and 16. In their soft white woolens, each seemed more innocent and unworldly than the last. Yet the High Septon insisted that no girl spend more than 7 days at the Queen's service, lest Cersei corrupt her. So, of course, Doran Martell would approve because he had the same problem that he hadn't been doing that with Arianne. But more importantly, that we've talked about how this is parallels to it's the other one, right? Which I can't keep the Sand Snakes straight. Which one is the one that's a septa?
Hyena.
Yeah, it's not Lady Nim. It's the one that looks innocent. Anyway, the people have pointed out that wording is very similar, as if one of these is in fact her.
Yeah.
One shared the Queen's bed every night to ascertain she had no other company. The other 2 slept in an adjoining chamber with the septa who looked over them. Before her walk, she would have flaunted her baldness beneath a golden crown. "Come, sit," she said. "Will you have wine?" A cup. A freckled novice filled their cups with hot spiced wine. "I can't have any more wine. I'll just have a cup." Then they fill it.
Fill it.
The new tower will be twice as tall as the one you burned, he says. Cersei gave a throaty laugh. "Long lances, tall towers. Is Lord Tyrell hinting at something?" That made him smile. It is good that she still remembers how to laugh. "Once my innocence is proved, it would please me if Diana Merryweather might attend me once again. She could bring her son to court. Tommen needs other boys about him, friends of noble birth." So, of course, when he goes, it was a modest request. Sir Kevin saw no reason why it should not be granted. He could foster the Merryweather boy himself, whilst Lady Diana accompanied Cersei back to Castle Rock. I will send for her after the trial, he promised. So, of course, technically she said it as two separate sentences. He's agreeing to both of them. But it's not. It's not a lie. It's in a certain way. It was not a lie, or however the Toodles keeps telling us. Right?
Only two lived the right away that day.
Sir Boros tasted every dish that was set before the king. A humiliating duty for a knight of the King's Guard, but perhaps all Blunt was capable of these days, and wise after the way Tommen's brother had died. Anyway. The bad cat
was somebody wanted to poison Tommen, especially a master poisoner.
Yeah, he's a big fat guy, and Tommen's a small child, right?
Right. So I mean, not to mention you have the slow acting poisons that would never show in Blunt that would topple the 8-9-year-old Tommen.
Yeah. The bad cat was outside my window last night, informed Kevin. But Sir Pounce hissed at him, and he ran off across the roofs. The bad cat? Sir Kevin said it. He was amused. He is a sweet boy. An old black tomcat with a torn ear, Cersei told him. A filthy thing and foul-tempered. He clawed Joff's hand once. She made a face. The cats keep the rats down, I know. But that one, he's been known to attack ravens in his rookery. I will ask the ratter to set a trap for him. They have ratters? Specifically not supposed to have ratters. That's why they have the cats. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's why this is really weird.
Well, I mean, that's House of the Dragon. Does that continue forever on from that point? There's no more ratters?
That's the concept, but I guess not. So anyway, it's interesting.
Maybe the new writers don't know the passages the way the old writers do.
You have not asked about your brother, he said as they were waiting for the cream cakes. Cream cakes were the king's favorite. If you were dead, I would know it. We came into this world together, uncle. He would not go without me. No one has tried to sell us a dwarf's head of late, no. Your wife, do you mean to bring her to court? No. Dorna was a gentle soul, never comfortable, but at home with friends and kin around her. She'd done well by their children, dreamed of having grandchildren, prayed 7 times a day, loved needlework and flowers. In King's Landing, she would be as happy as one of Tommen's kittens in a pit of vipers. My lady wife mislikes travel. Ladesport is her place. It's a wise woman who knows her place.
Who is this? And what have you done with Cersei?
Exactly. I've had the both of them arrested. That seemed to take her aback. For what crime? Fornication with the queen. His High Holiness says that you confessed to betting both of them. Had you forgotten? So anyway, like I said, that maybe implies that her face reddened, which doesn't that remind you of when she gets caught saying that Tommen's father was a great jouster?
Yeah.
So anyway, she got caught in a lie here.
That's a nice little catch there, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. What will you do with them? The wall if they admit their guilt. So that's interesting that they could be sent to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect them to choose to face Robert Strong instead.
Yeah, no. No.
My lord, my lady, I'm sorry to intrude. There's a boy below. Grandmaster Pycelle begs the favor of the Lord Regent's presence at once. So either this boy can talk, or this dark-haired novice with the round cheeks is in on things. Probably the boy can talk, so I don't know. I'm not sure how that happened.
Now, if you're Tyene and the angelic vision of a beautiful young girl, I don't sound too creepy about
Dorcas, potentially.
I remember descriptions of her. Yeah, would you dye? Because she's supposed to have like blonde hair, right?
I don't know.
Would you dye your hair and try to downplay your looks to get in with the
maybe
the sparrows to get this position?
Maybe. One way or another, either the boy can talk and is working with Dorcas, or this woman is working with Dorcas. One or the other. Dark wings, dark words. The messenger was a boy of 8 or 9, so bundled up in fur he seemed a bear cub. Tran had kept him waiting on the drawbridge rather than admit him into Maegor's. Go find a fire, lad, Sir Kevin told him, pressing a penny into his hand. I know the way to the rookery well enough. Autumn in King's Landing, what must it be like on the wall? The door was opened by a serving girl, and she's one of the ones that stabs him at the end. A skinny thing in a fur-lined robe, much too big for her, which kind of tells you that it wasn't for her, or that she's stolen somebody else's. Anyway. Sir Kevon stamped the snow off his boots, removed his glove, tossed it to her. Grand Macerder is expecting me, he announced. The girl nodded, solemn and silent, and pointed to the steps. In case we didn't know already, right?
Yeah,
Pycelle's chambers were beneath the rookery. Sir Kevon had always found them uncomfortably hot. Not tonight. Once past the chamber door, the chill was palpable. Black ash and dying embers were all that remained of the hearth fire. Flickering candles cast pools of dim light here and there. The rest was shrouded in shadow, except beneath the open window, where a spray of ice crystals glittered in the moonlight, swirling in the wind. On the window seat, a raven loitered, pale, huge, its feathers ruffled. It was the largest raven that Kevon Lannister had ever seen, larger than any hunting hawk at Casterly Rock, larger than the largest owl. Blowing snow danced around it, and the moon painted it silver. Not silver, white. The bird is white. The white ravens of the citadel did not carry messages as their dark cousins did. When they went forth from Old Town, it was for one purpose only, to herald a change of seasons. Winter, said Sir Kevon. The word made a white mist in the air. He turned away from the window. Then something slammed him in the chest between the ribs, hard as a giant's fist. It drove the breath from him and sent him lurching backwards. The white raven took to the air, its pale wings slapping him about the head. Sir Kevon half sat and half fell onto the window seat. What? Who? A quarrel was sunk almost to the fletching in his chest. No, that was how my brother died. Blood was seeping out around the shaft. Pycelle, he muttered, confused. Help me, Then he saw. Grandmeister Pycelle was seated at his table, his head pillowed on the great leather-bound tome before him. Sleeping, Kevon thought, till he blinked and saw the deep red gash in the old man's spotted skull and the blood pool beneath his head, staining the pages of his book. That could have been a glamour.
Huh?
That was a glamour.
Yeah.
Sleeping, Kevon thought, until he blinked and saw the deep red gash in the old man's spotted skull and the blood pool beneath his head, staining the pages of his book.
Ooh, could that be another reason why Kevon is such a dangerous person in King's Landing? Is he could see past the glamour?
Yes, Kirsty, the raven attacking him was really interesting too. That's why I kept that part in. Like, that could indicate skin changing going on nearby.
Yeah.
And a glamour going around. That really looks like a glamour, and somebody can see through a glamour.
Yeah. Not only did he do a good job, but Dorcas would have a really hard time moving about the castle if Sir Kevon, and with him visiting with Cersei, his potential of seeing Dorcas might go up, even though they're only having septas around her.
They're ladies in waiting that are dismissed, not her servants, not her head servants.
Mm-hmm. See, that when I read this, the reason I was always asking about where Varys was is because I was like, well, was he glamored? Could he pull off Pycelle in the small council chambers? And then Pycelle has been dead a while. That's why it's so cold.
Kirsty said, is that even a raven? Oh, that's a good question.
Ooh.
That's a good question. Oh, but we got to hurry up. We're already a few minutes over. I mean, this is the end, but still. All around his candle were bits of bone and brain islands in the lake of melted met wax. He wanted guards, Sir Kevon thought. I should have sent him guards. Could Cersei have been right all along? Was this his nephew's work? Tyrion, he called. Where? Far away, a half-familiar voice replied. He stood in a pool of shadow by a bookcase, plump, pale-faced, round-shouldered, clutching a crossbow with soft-powdered hands. Silk slippers swaddled his feet. Varys? You'd accept the crossbow down. It was for the realm, for the children. I have children. I have a wife. Oh, Dorna. This pains me, my lord. You do not deserve to die alone on such a cold, dark night. There are many like you, good men and serfs to bad causes, but you were threatening to undo all the queen's good work, to reconcile Highgarden and Casterly Rock, bind the faith to your little king, unite the seven kingdoms under Tommen's rule. So, are you cold, my lord? Do forgive me. The Grand Maester befouled himself in dying. See, I did tell you that meant shit. And the state was so abominable that I thought I might choke. I thought the crossbow fitting. You shared so much with Lord Tywin. Why not that? Your niece will think the Tyrells had you murdered, mayhaps with the connivance of the imp. The Tyrells will suspect her. Someone somewhere will find a way to blame the Dornishmen.
Doubt, division, and mistrust will eat the very ground beneath your boy king, whilst Aegon raises his banner above Storm's End, and the lords of the realm gather round him. Aegon? For a moment he did not understand. Then he remembered. How cat-like. Ice crystal on the window. So how cat-like is that, right? He did not understand, then he remembered. That's literally from Cat 2. Far away. Ned, where were you? Arthur, far away. Yeah, good call back there, Kirsty. A babe swallowed in a crimson cloak, the cloth stained with his blood and brains. Dead. He's dead. No, the eunuch's voice seemed deeper. He is here. Aegon has been shaped for a wool since before he could walk. He has been trained in arms, as befits a knight to be, but that was not the end of his education. He reads and writes. He speaks several tongues. He has studied history and law and poetry. A septa has instructed him in the mysteries of the faith since he was old enough to understand them. He's lived with fisherfolk, worked with his hands, swum in rivers and mended nets, and learned to wash his own clothes at need. He can fish and cook and bind up a wound. He knows what it is like to be hungry, to be hunted, to be afraid. Tommen has been taught that kingship is his right. Aegon knows that kingship is his duty, that a king must put his people first and live and rule for them.
People take that right there to say, hey, Aegon's the rightful one because Varys tells a dying man that he's not the dead boy, he's Aegon. That's not true. This paragraph is just as much for us as it is for Kevin, as far as George is concerned.
Of course, and also, he said Aegon. He never said that, but he's Aegon the Seventh. He's not Aegon the Sixth. See Trip to Dragons episode 3.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Reason I brought up etymology on Dalt is because of lemons. It sounds same as if spelled Dolt equals dull, dim-witted. Thick as a castle wall, tied to dunk. And Dalt equals door in Hebrew. I think it was. Okay.
Hold the door.
Time to make an end of it. The eunuch pursed his lips and gave a little whistle. Sir Kevon was cold as ice, and every labored breath sent a fresh stab of pain through him. He glimpsed movement, heard the soft scuffling sound of slippered feet on stone. A child emerged from a pool of darkness, a pale boy in a ragged robe, no more than 9 or 10. Another rose up behind the Grand Maester's chair. The girl who had opened the door for him was there as well. They were all around him, half a dozen of them, white-faced children with dark eyes, boys and girls together. And in their hands, the daggers. And of course, they're supposed to look like the others in the beginning of the story, right?
They give that ending to Pycelle in the show.
And what's more interesting, of course, is that the eunuch's voice seemed deeper. So he, of course, thinks of Aegon. He says Aegon, right? But he never says dead, he's dead. Well, yeah, there is an Aegon who's dead, and there's an Aegon who's not dead. And the one Varys is talking about or Dorcas, is not dead.
Yep. I still think I still like the Blackfire theory. I mean, I like the versus history. Hold on.
That sounded weird.
Yeah, I had a phone call come in.
So the eunuch's voice seemed deeper. Now that part is interesting, right? Because
he's not thinking anymore.
Because he's not trying to play the part of Varys anymore. He's trying to be himself.
Now, does that mean he's not snipped?
That would be the implication, perhaps. Now, how is he sharing a bed with Cersei while not being snipped is another question.
It's really good glamour.
Maybe.
Duct tape.
Well, yeah, she's not trying to have sex with her maid.
No, not the band size straight or whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, let's wrap up. We're over.
All right, over a little bit. Sorry about the technical difficulties today. We appreciate those that hung around. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And as always, on every Friday, I hope you have a safe and happy weekend. And we will be back here Monday with.
Good question. What do you want? Which one do you want to do next? Do you want to do? Do you want to do the Forsaken? Do you want to do? Start with the. Tyrion Bannister.
I think I've heard so much Forsaken let's just go with the Forsaken.
Okay. Gonna look into that Raven now. Sounds good.
Yeah. Let us know on Monday. We appreciate it. Y'all have fun. Take care and bye. Bye.
Have a good one.